Welcome back to Mindfulreads. Today, I am diving into a book that has had a massive impact on how I approach daily habits, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you're like me, you've probably struggled at some point with sticking to habits. Maybe you've set goals like, I am going to exercise every day, I am going to eat healthier. But after a few weeks, it all falls apart. I know I've been there. But Atomic Habits shows us that small, incremental changes can lead to big results over time. It's not about radical shifts, but about making tiny tweaks that compound. In this video, I am going to break down the core concepts and share how they've changed my life. If you're interested in exploring the book in its entirety, I've left a link to the full version below. It's packed with even more insights that can help you build lasting habits. James Clear starts by explaining how small habits are like the atoms of our life's tiny building blocks that make up everything we do. The core idea is simple. Habits aren't about making huge, life-changing decisions. Instead, it's about making small improvements every day that, over time, compound into something much bigger. At first, I thought this sounded a bit too good to be true. I mean, how can something as tiny as putting my shoes by the door every day lead to a bigger transformation? But when I dug deeper into the book, I realized it's all about the compounding effect, just like how saving a little bit of money regularly can build into a solid financial foundation. Small habits add up to create lasting change. Clear uses the example of an ice cube. Imagine you have an ice cube sitting in a room that's to 5F. Nothing happens for a while, but as you slowly turn up the temperature, you get to 26F, 27F, still no change. Then you reach 32F, and suddenly the ice cube starts to melt. The change didn't happen all at once. It was the result of small, incremental shifts. That's how our habits work. One of the key frameworks Clear introduces is the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws provide a simple, but powerful guide to building good habits and breaking bad ones. They are 1. Make it obvious, to make it attractive. 3. Make it easy, for make it satisfying. Let's break them down. Make it obvious. The first law is all about clarity. If you want to build a new habit, you need to make it obvious. Clear talks about something called cue stacking, where you attach your new habit to something you already do automatically. For example, I started doing push-ups right after brushing my teeth. The act of brushing my teeth was already a habit. So, adding another action, something I could tie directly to it, made it a lot easier to remember. Another strategy is called implementation intentions. This is just a fancy way of saying, plan your habits ahead of time. Instead of saying, I'll exercise sometime tomorrow, be specific. I will go for a 30-minute run at 7 a.m. Having a concrete plan takes away their guesswork. Make it attractive. Its second law is about making your habits more appealing. This is where Clear introduces the idea of temptation bundling, which is pairing something you want to do with something you need to do. For example, if you love watching Netflix but want to read more, you could allow yourself to watch your favorite show only while you're on the treadmill. Suddenly, the habit of exercising becomes more attractive because it's paired with something fun. Making habits attractive is also about changing the way you think about them. If you focus on how a good habit benefits you in the long run, it becomes easier to stay committed. I know that after a good workout, I feel energized and proud of myself, which makes me look forward to the next one. Make it easy. Next up is making your habits easy. This is where a lot of us fail. We make our goals too big, too soon. When I started trying to exercise more, I'd say, I'm going to work out for an hour every day. But that was a huge commitment, and it felt overwhelming. Instead, Clear suggests starting small, like committing to just 2 minutes of exercise a day. You might think, how can 2 minutes make a difference? But the key here is that small habits are easy to start and don't require much motivation. Once I was doing 2 minutes a day, I found that I often went longer, and gradually, it became a regular part of my routine. Claire also suggests reducing friction in your environment. For instance, if you want to read more, keep a book by your bed or your favorite reading chair. The fewer steps between you and your habit, the easier it is to get started. Make it satisfying. Final law is about making habits satisfying. Claire emphasizes the habits are more likely to stick if we feel rewarded right away. This is why instant gratification plays a big role in habit formation. For example, when I mark off a day on my habit tracker or give myself a small reward after a workout, it feels satisfying and reinforces the behavior. One of the most powerful ideas in this section is the concept of habit tracking. By simply marking down every time you do your habit, you get to see progress. This visual feedback makes you feel accomplished and motivates you to keep going. One of the most profound ideas Claire discusses in Atomic Habits is the connection between habits and identity. Instead of focusing on outcomes, he argues, we should focus on who we want to become. If you want to be a runner, don't just focus on running a marathon. Start by identifying as a runner. You can tell yourself, I am someone who runs regularly, and then back it up with small actions. Over time, these small actions will shift your identity. Of course, building good habits is only half the battle. Atomic Habits also gives strategies for breaking bad ones. Claire explains how bad habits are often triggered by cues, so the goal is to make those cues less obvious. For example, if you're trying to stop eating junk food late at night, don't keep chips in the house. If the cue seeing the chips is gone, the habit is much harder to act on. So, there you have it, the core ideas behind Atomic Habits. It's not about trying to make massive changes overnight. It's about focusing on the tiny, everyday actions that, when stacked on top of each other, lead to a big transformation. Since reading this book, I've started focusing less on huge and attainable goals and more on small, sustainable habits. And it's working. The key takeaway: don't try to make radical changes all at once. Instead, make tiny improvements that add up over time. Whether it's working out, reading more, or just being more mindful, I've found that it's the little things that make the biggest impact. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know. Also, I'd love to hear about what habits you're trying to build or break. Leave a comment below, and we can chat about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.